As a Black person, you always wonder, can I travel to this destination? Are they going to be welcoming, or is it going to be hard for me to travel? I lived in Europe my entire life almost. I grew up in Switzerland. I am a French citizen, so grew up in France as well. And I've been living in the UK as my base for 24 years. So I know what I'm talking about. I've traveled to many countries in Europe, including Poland, Croatia, Germany, Portugal, Spain, name it. I've been to quite a few countries. So I know what I'm talking about. Today I want to share with you how it feels like to travel as a Black woman over 50 in Europe. I will give you my personal ranking, the way I felt traveling in these countries, and also know the difference that traveling and being a tourist in a country is very different to when you live in the country. You will not feel racism the same way. And why am I making that video is I got inspired by another YouTuber, Bold Girl Will Travel, Anne-Marie, and I did love a video. So I thought, let me do my version of it because I know Europe, I've been here forever. That's the place where I travel and spend the most of my time. The country that felt really unwelcoming and friendly and where you felt really racism like on your face, it's Italy. We did love Italy. We went to Rome, beautiful. The architecture, the country is just beautiful. The food, please. Who doesn't know the amazing food in Italy? It's rich, the pizza, the pasta, everything when it comes to food is amazing in Italy. However, the people were very, very unfriendly. And it started from the day we arrived, like where we were renting the Airbnb, the people arrived late, did not apologize, very rude, and that followed us all through our trip. We stayed quite a long time, and I've been several times in Italy. I've been to Milan many times. We went to see the Tower of Pisa, and so beautiful, right? When you are in those attractions, you know, those emblematic touristy places, well, when you're there, there's a lot of tourists, so you don't feel it. But when you move away from those and just go on with your life, then you really feel the difference. Number two, for me, it's Malta. So we went to Malta in 2019 with my whole family. And we all felt it. The dirty looks, the energy all together, you know, people looking at you like, what are you doing here? In Malta, there's a lot of African working, doing small jobs. So maybe that's how they see all of us, which is really wrong because there's nothing wrong with doing small jobs. We all, as a family, did not feel the welcome spirit of the people in Malta. It's a stunning, stunning place. Like postcard perfect landscape and everything, you know, blue, clear water. I mean, it's so beautiful. I did love the country's beauty, but the people, not so much. Because the people is what makes a trip, right? There's the food and there's the people. But when your first impression, you know, you are left with uncomfortable feeling and energy, it kind of follow you through the stay there. So Malta, worth visiting. It's amazing. It's very, very beautiful. But the people aren't that friendly. It's not a place where I would want to go and live. One country that really, really surprised me is Spain. I've been to Spain 20 years ago, a long time ago. And I went back 2 months ago. And I went to Zaragoza, Madrid, and Barcelona. What shocked me is that Spanish people, maybe not as a whole, let's not generalize, but how I feel with the interaction that I had with the locals was very unfriendly and cold. I did not expect that for such a popular place where people go on holidays all the time. Whether it was in the restaurant or in the street, people were not friendly at all, rather cold and really not nice at all. I went into a store and I was looking for a specific tea, but I couldn't find it. So I went to a lady and asked, do you know where the tea, if you have that tea in here? And she's like, no, 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 don't talk to me. Like, you know, she was like, she went ballistic on me. I'm like, I'm not begging or asking you for anything. I just want to know. I'm looking for that tea. Do you sell it? I don't know if it's because I've seen a lot of Africans on the street in Spain, begging on the street or doing like, you know, selling things on the street. And I don't know if that shaped the way they see us. But I saw the difference when I was with my friend in Zaragoza, and she admitted it that people like black people are not looked at nicely in Spain. I met other friends there, African American ladies that live there and very happy, right? But themselves mentioned that in some of the places, like we went to a very nice restaurant, and it's places where you would not find a lot of black people. And the other thing that I've seen as well in Spain, in the places where I've been, is that you don't see a lot of black people doing high paid job. You see them like a service job, like, you know, in the street, etc. I'm not saying that there's no black people doing like job in offices and all of that, but you don't see that when you travel. When you're a tourist, you go to restaurants, hotels, and all these places. I didn't see a lot of representation of black people sitting in a nice restaurant unless they were serving or something like that for the time that I was there, right? But so that was my experience. But generally, Spanish people, I don't know. I did not expect that at all, because I don't remember how it was like 20 years ago. And if you don't speak Spanish or a bit of Spanish, they don't want to talk to you in any other languages, which is nothing wrong. It's their country. You need to make the effort. And I love Spanish, so I'm learning. And yeah, I used my, you know, the small Spanish that I had. But generally, the people were not friendly. In number 4, I'm going to put Greece. I've been to Greece a very long time ago for our first year wedding anniversary. Today we've been married for almost 28 years. So to tell you, it's been a very long time. I don't remember clear racism, simply because we were also like in a group cruise kind of holiday. It was a group thing. But what happened is, in the cruise boat, some of the people working there, you know, that was at the time where you had to give your bank card and they need to swap it, not swap it even in the machine, but they need to take a scan of it, right? So they kept the card and all the security numbers always there. They maxed out our card completely, emptied our bank accounts, and on the same day they did shopping, etc. It was a Visa card that we had to complain about it and ask for a refund. They didn't. Our account got closed. I mean, we had so much issues, and we have never recovered that money. And I think at the time, it was something like, I mean, it was a huge amount on the credit card. So it left a bad taste. My husband had traveled and worked a lot with people from the country, and generally when it comes to the way they act toward black people, friendly is not the word I will use. I'm gonna put that at number 4 because Greece didn't leave a positive impact on me. However, it's a beautiful, beautiful country worth going. I have 5 countries that start coming number 5. So we have France, Switzerland, Germany, Monaco is the tiny country at the bottom of France, and the UK. The UK is where I live at the moment. So this country comes in the middle, right? The ranking is from 1 to 10. In France, I'm a French citizen. I grew up in France. I also grew up in Switzerland. France is the country where I felt the most racism because, well, I grew up there. It was really hard growing up there and being there as a young adult. I knew that who I am was not accepted. My hair was not accepted. If I wanted to wear my fro to go to a job, I would never have been taken. And I would have been told that it was not clean. I had to wear waves. I knew that there was no other choice if I wanted a job. When I wanted to rent, I was faced with rejection. The landlord doesn't want a certain category of people, usually meaning blacks and Arabs. As a tourist, you may not notice it because, well, when you come, people are in love with Paris, the city of love and etc. So, beautiful country. France is a beautiful, beautiful country. However, if you are a black African or Caribbean, you may not have the same experience than, let's say, an African American may have a different treatment in France, which actually, yes, because I interviewed the lady on the channel, Tanisha, and she is living her best life in Paris, but she admitted that when she was with an African boyfriend, he was treated differently than her. So as a black woman over 50 traveling in France, if you spend enough time outside of les Champs-Élysées, le Louvre, you know, all these touristy places where you just go and have your best time, when you stay a little bit longer in the country and do what the locals do, then you will see the difference. Before you open your mouth, if you are an African American, they may be rude if they feel like you are an African. But when you talk, they may treat you differently because you are from America, and that's just what it is. Because a lot of African are French citizens, so there's like a little issue between the French and the French who immigrated or even born there. As a kid, yes, I've seen a lot of racism. Anyway, where we were living, there was not a lot of black people. A neighbor called the police once on us because we hanged clothes on the balcony. You know, you would just feel the racism there. But as an adult, because I've just come back from a trip to Europe and I visited Basel in Switzerland, you don't feel it really. It's cosmopolitan, very expensive. Unless you stay there longer, you don't really feel it as a tourist. You have your money to go places and buy things because life is expensive there. For me, these countries are right in the middle, right? They're used to seeing black people. We had Germany, Monaco. Well, Monaco is just posh. The country of Monaco is the tiniest country. Nothing much to say. There's some category of people living in there. They're very proud of who they are. And so you're a bit looked down when you go in certain restaurants that they don't expect to see like black people there. Germany is strange. It's not the most warm or welcoming place, depending on where you go, of course. But I've been in like most cosmopolitan places, and I was also in like, what's that place where I was? Cal, right? Where there's a mix of like German, French, even Italian there. So they're used to seeing a lot of people, you know, foreigner. And so you don't feel the racism because there's a lot of people there. But it's not the most welcoming place either. It's like when you enter a shop, people aren't like so smiley and happy to see you. This is why I put it in the middle. It's like lukewarm, right? The UK is the country in the world where I felt the most free. I live here as Jazz, human being. I don't wear my skin, my origin, my gender on my back every day. British people are very like, I don't know, there's that politic correct where even if they hate you, they won't tell you in your face. They will maybe talk at the back, but will not tell you in your face, and they might smile, but they may smile and between their teeth say like, I hate you, go away. But they won't say that to you, right? And that's fine. So people don't bother you. I love this country. I mean, like everywhere in the world, with immigration is becoming crazy with all the law they're trying to pass and kick people out of the UK. But generally, it's a country that I'm very thankful for because I grew up here as being me. I'm a self-employed pride anyway. I've been able to have contract with different schools as a French teacher. Something that I would not have been able to do in France, I've done in the UK. And representation is everywhere, crazy. When I just arrived in the UK and somebody came toward me to help me, I was at the job center and she was a lady with hijab, covered. And I jumped back because I couldn't understand what she wanted. Because I wouldn't have thought that she was working at the job center and she was the person responsible for helping, welcoming people. You won't see that in France. And representation is very important, which I didn't find in France at all. Go to the museum and you will have people, somebody looking like me, opening the doors to you, welcoming people, or somebody that is elderly or disabled, which you don't see in France at the time there. Today, I don't know. Because whether you want it or not, racism is actually everywhere. But now it's how does it bother your day-to-day life? And the UK is a great, great place. It's an amazing place to be as a Black woman over 50. Because people mind their own business, you are free to just go around and do what you need to do. And people will leave you alone. And that's good enough for me. Number 6, I've put Hungary and Bulgaria. Well, they're both beautiful, but I just didn't feel the vibe. I didn't necessarily feel unsafe, but I just didn't feel that it was a welcoming country for me. It was not friendly. It was just, you know, we don't care about you, okay? Move along. That's how I felt in Hungary and Bulgaria. That's my personal experience. And I was there with my 2 daughters as well. They were teenagers then. We didn't just feel the vibe, you know, we spent a few days there navigating around and talking to people, and generally it didn't feel nice. I cannot say that there were racist in your face. It just didn't feel right. As a Black person, I didn't feel comfortable there. In number 7, I have 2 countries as well, Luxembourg and the Netherlands. So these 2 countries, very easy. I spent a bit of time in both. They're just easy to navigate around, expensive, but I didn't feel so much racism. Anyway, when you are in Luxembourg, it's a bit like in France. You know, there's a lot of French people there. So the mentality is not that different than in France, for what I've seen for the time that I was there. So not much to say here. But it's not a country that I'm like, oh, I absolutely want to go back, because I felt so much like warmth and welcoming and welcome there. People mind their business, so it's refreshing. It's just expensive. It's 2 countries that are worth visiting. You're going to have a good experience, but just make sure that your wallet is full, because it costs a lot of money. But the great thing is that in Luxembourg, public transport is free. That's a tip in case you didn't know that. We were surprised. It's part of the countries with least racism. I didn't feel any stares, no funny looks, just normal life. The next countries surprised me a lot. 2 of the countries I was with my kids, and 1 I went by myself, just I decided to book it. Sometimes I do that. I took a voucher, you know, those mystery shopper holiday, right? That cost £99, but at the end you end up paying a lot more. 3 countries for number 8 are Croatia, Poland, and Romania. Those were the biggest surprise for me, because I was afraid of traveling there, even with my daughters, because I felt that there would be a lot of racism, but I was pleasantly surprised. Croatia was amazing. We had such an amazing experience, except the fact that I fell and I had those how do you call them, seahorse, who poked my bum when I fell. And because I forgot that the beaches are pebbles beaches, it's not sand. But that was just me, nothing to do with the country. The people were great. We spent quite a lot of time there, and we had a surprisingly great experience in Croatia. Poland was a joy. I left from the UK with an apprehension and such judgment in my mind about Poland, because I had a bad experience with Polish people living in my house who sublet the house when we were living in Dubai. They damaged it. To this day, we couldn't recover. So I went with that in mind. I was pleasantly surprised. It was such a beautiful experience in Poland. People were nice. We went to see like a art show. We went in several places, and I cannot remember one time where I felt that, okay, look down because I'm black. No. I had an amazing time in Poland. And Romania was the biggest surprise of all, because I went there just like that. And I was really worried about the country. I thought, yeah, I'm not sure, but let me just go because I'm curious about the world. And I went there, and that was such an amazing experience. Yes, all the people will look at you like, you know, and may not sit next to you in the bus, but hey, younger people were very nice. Even generally, the thing is, a lot of things are written in the language, and I couldn't read most of it. I had to ask and talk to a lot of people. And when I went to see Dracula Castle, which was like about maybe an hour train from the main city, and I came back at night, but I felt safe walking. I usually don't walk at night, but I couldn't do otherwise. Croatia, Poland, and Romania were a pleasant surprise. Number 9, I have Slovakia, Portugal, and Belgium. Let's start by Portugal. Love, love, love the country. Been to Lisbon, I've been to Porto, I've been to many places. I don't want to butcher the names. Beautiful experience. The people are lovely. I just felt great in Portugal. That's why Spain surprised me, because I was expecting that kind of level of kindness and friendliness. Portugal, a great place. Highly recommend. Belgium is just Belgium, like laid back place. They're used to seeing people from all over. I've been to Belgium many times because when I was living in France, in Paris, Belgium is just next door. And it's not a place where people will go on holiday, but it's a nice place. It's a nice place. Quirky architecture, new and old, you know, close to each other. It's quite weird, but a very nice place. To finish that list, for the country at number 9 is Slovakia. Slovakia for me is a hidden gem. I had the best time there. Met great people. The food was nice too. Just an overall great experience. Belgium and Slovakia are countries that I will definitely visit again in a heartbeat. So in number 10 of the least racist places, I'm gonna call Vatican. Well, it's a holy place. It has to be the kindest place or the least racist place. When we went to Vatican, we went to the place where the popes come and talk. I forgot the name. I'll put that on the screen. Whether you are a believer or not a non-believer, being in that place of holiness, when the pope shows in the top of the building there and bless you, it was a great experience. No racism there that I felt. Well, it's the Vatican, right? That would be weird if you felt racism. Not that it doesn't exist, okay? I'm not saying that. It's the least place where I felt racism. So meaning that is the number 1 best place to go for black women over 50 or black women generally. That's my true and honest experience. I've lived in Europe my entire life, and that's how we felt. I and my family felt when we traveled to these places. So let me know in the comment how it was for you. If you visited these places as a black woman or a black person generally. If you don't know me, I'm Jazz. I'm a 50 years old budget solo traveler. I'm a married woman, so you can travel even if you're married. And on this channel, I inspire women over 40, 50 to live bold, to go to the end of their dreams. For me, travel is self-care. It's the best self-care. It's my passion. It's such an amazing gift that you can give to yourself. So my channel is here to show you that even with a small budget, you can travel and see the world, one country at a time, one experience at a time, and you come out of this experience richer as a person. So if that sounds good to you, please subscribe, join the community. Next year, beginning of next year, I'm going to Bali, Malaysia, Vietnam, and so on. We are coming with a lot of adventure, so I hope you're gonna join the community. Remember, travel is the new retirement plan.